top 50 special teams coaches. Now, we're not going to go into some kind of deep grind on this.
Yeah.
But how much of that did you really delve into the special teams performances versus getting feedback?
Yeah, so that list and a lot of the coaching list, I do a top 50 list at the beginning of the season, top 50 list at the end of the season, and I kind of gauge the special teams performance, with those coaches. So, like, I think for Michigan, I had Jay Harbaugh as number one. Michigan had a great special teams last year, and then I think number two was LeVar Woods for Iowa. And Iowa's special teams, was kind of their saving grace last year for having, winning the Big Ten West. So I look at the performance of the position groups and kind of just gauge that's kind of my big gauge. And then I just kind of, rank them accordingly.
When you put together a list, have you ever put one out there and then thought, maybe I should have considered this differently? You got a little bit of feedback from the fans? Because I got to say, I'm not doing anything close to the level of output that you are. And I got to admit, from time to time, I don't have a staff check proofing everything. So I miss it. I miss it sometimes. And I'm like, I forgot about that, or I forgot about him.
Yeah.
And that becomes a little difficult. Yeah.
That happens all the time. Like I remember I ranked like the top 10 Mountain West coaches, and I just a boneheaded mistake. I left Troy Calhoun off at Air Force, and he's obviously one of the best coaches in the Mountain West. And so that was just a brain fart on my part. And yeah, like you said, I'm just a one-man show putting all this stuff together. Sometimes I make mistakes, and, I try to, if someone calls me out on it, I'll happy, to admit that I was wrong.
John, you probably get so much feedback that you wouldn't remember this, and I don't even know when I responded. But I had to take a step back, admittedly, myself, because I'm not even going to point out what the obvious mistake was, because, again, I make them as well. And do I want people jumping all over me? No, because I'm like, if you watch me on a regular basis, I know what I'm talking about. I understand the game. I know the game. I'm not perfect, though, and I missed it.
Yeah.
But I laid into you one time several months ago, so I appreciate you.
Was it about my playoff prediction? I think that was what it was.
I wouldn't. No, I don't think I would get into. I don't believe so. I'm thinking of something else. But playoff predictions, if somebody's making a prediction, hey, if you said Kansas, Wake Forest, Indiana, and Oregon State in the playoff, I would be like, that's fine. It's a prediction. It's not factually wrong, or there's nothing. But I do concur with you that it is a difficult process. Once you get into this game, you're not going to be, even by your own standards or judgment, on it all the time. There's just too much information and too many perspectives.
Well, and Mark, it's cool because the list most of the time I feel like they're somewhat accurate. And what I love seeing, especially when I'm ranking like players and coaches, you see the official accounts retweeting it. Then you see the players' parents retweeting it, and then coaches retweeting it. It's so cool to me because I feel like players don't, the quarterbacks, they get a ton of recognition, but these, offensive linemen or punters or kick returners, they don't get that kind of recognition. And I love these lists because they go viral. A couple million people look at each tweet, and it gives these players the recognition they deserve. And it's rewarding for me to put them together.
That is very cool. That is a great sidebar to all of this, is that there is recognition out there for some of the people that don't get it on a regular basis in college football.